Okay, just a quick explanation of how I set up the tilt control on my Blade 350QX with the Taro 2D gimbal. We decided that for our photo shoot, it would be better to have somebody else control the tilt while I fly because it's just too much workload. I don't want to fly and control the camera at the same time. I have a JR9503, so I kind of could have done that. But I think for the purpose of getting good video, I want to concentrate on the flying while somebody else aims the camera. So what we did was we used this cheapo receiver. This is the cheapest it's a 4-channel receiver. It's the cheapest full range receiver. It's only 30 bucks. So I just snapped that on there, bound it up to my other radio, my DX7, and connected the roll control to the roll pin on the board inside. Now you can see the one plug is plugged in this way, and that is powering the receiver on the red and brown wire from the gimbal. The gimbal has a voltage regulator output. 5 volts come off of that, so you can use that. And then I separated the plug at the other end so that it can hook up to the roll control. Now, I could finish this and add tilt control with just 1 wire. I don't need 3 wires, I would just do 1. So that's an example of how you can do this on the Blade 350QX. And this is an old one. This is a V1 350QX with upgraded firmware. So it doesn't have that receiver that has the outputs like the V3 does, where you could just hook this up more directly. This is our solution, and this works pretty good. I will pause the video here and I'll fire it up and just show you how the tilt control works. So on my DX7, I have a gimbal program, and it doesn't do anything. It only has 1 channel. I use the throttle channel so that we can have a stick that stays in its position and doesn't spring back. And just use that 1 channel straight up. I did set some endpoints to the limits of where I want the camera to go. And that's so that we can just, you know, slam the stick all the way down to get a certain angle, slam it all the way up to get a certain angle, and then we can center the stick to get a slight downward angle for most of our flying. So if we just quickly plug it in here, if I can do this one-handed. Did I get it? Yeah. So, as you can see here, with the stick in the middle, the camera gives me a slight downward angle. And if I move the stick all the way down, it moves down to the vertical, but it doesn't move right away. Like, it moves slow, which I like. So that's my, like, maximum upward angle. There's basically my center angle, and then all the way downward so we can do, you know, straight down shots. And I set the endpoints, like this gimbal can't actually rotate farther than that, but I set the endpoint so that eyeball wise all the way down on the stick means perfectly level. So very easy setup with a second receiver and a second radio. And I think this is a pretty good solution. And you know, you don't have to use a DX7 for this. You could use like one of those cheapo radios that comes with the RTF stuff, the little controller. That would work great. Those will bind to a, you know, 4-channel regular receiver. So they just have short range. But you know, like if your gimbal gets out of range, it's probably not a big deal. Now I set the fail-safe on this to center, so that if the receiver does go down or loses contact for some reason, we'll still have kind of a useful camera angle. And if I don't want to run the receiver, I can unplug it and the camera goes to perfectly straight up and down.